Welcome. Welcome to Execution Process Group. Execution is about taking actions. Execution is about making deliverables. Execution is about doing something. But the point is, what will you execute? What will you deliver? What action will you take? These all are directly connected with project management plan. So if you plan well, you will be able to execute well. And if you don't plan well and try to jump into an execution without getting the required details, you will be having a lot of difficulties. You will be having a lot of change requests. You will be looking for the way out here and there because you don't know what should be your next step, how you need to move forward, who will approve the deliverables, what is expected of the deliverable, how you are going to make sure that the stakeholder expectation is met. So all these things will come from the project management plan. So when you are in execution, you as a project manager will be, your job as a project manager is to make sure that the field is ready for your team. Your job is to make sure that they don't face any hurdle. Your job is to make sure that if they require anything and some people or some stakeholder or some department or some company has committed, they get those committed things. Your job is to make sure that the resources gets on the project on right time, funding it gets on the project on the right time. So this is all your job. Here you will be coordinating people and resources, managing stakeholder expectation. The most important part in this area, in this execution process group, is to manage the stakeholder. This is a process group where you will be dealing with most of the resources in terms of human, in terms of equipment. Your major budget will be spent here, and you will be talking to a lot of stakeholders here because you have to be proactive when you are executing to make sure that when you get to the deliverables, your stakeholders do not reject it. So stakeholders expectation and their integration and their part in that, and they should be taking part in your project is very, very important. So you'll be integrating and performing the project activities. After this, when now we will move into the tasks that you should be doing in this process. You will be establishing and managing the project team, the most important part. When you are talking of PMI's project, think it's a long-term project. So people would be coming at different phases on your project. Some people will be coming at the beginning. If you are doing a construction project, they will be designers, people who will be doing the paperwork, 3D diagram. Then you will have an execution team. Then you might have a architectural team. So if you are doing a project management, which is an IT project, you might be having a designers, data flow diagrams, architect in the beginning. Then you would have execution team, and then maybe an implementation team and the user support team at the end. So establishing and managing the project team is very important. You will be coordinating people and resources, monitoring team performance, contracting procurement. There are many projects where you would be needing things from outside. Maybe just a project, it may be just an IT software. So make and buy analysis would happen at part of the planning phase, but that whatever you have agreed or you have rest that you need to buy, you will be buying here. Directing and managing the project execution, distribution of information. So it is about progress distribution. It is about making sure that because this progress that you are doing in this part will be going back to the project management plan, because somebody has to update the project management plan based on the changes which are requested and are approved. So performing quality assurance activities. So we have three quality. We need to plan quality, then we have to execute the quality. We have to assure that the processes that we are doing, the deliverables that we are delivering, they are deliverables that we are configuring or making or creating, they are of the desired quality. All these are part of this execution process group. It is not about production of project deliverables only. It is going, the execution phase is almost directly related with monitoring and controlling process. Why? Because all the work that you will be doing here, which is again the project management plan, needs to be tracked as part of the monitoring and controlling, so that you can identify your variances and you can take actions. So you will be getting a lot of change requests as part of this process group. The next, we will see the processes that we have as part of this group. So we have 10 processes, which is direct and managed project work, which is integration part. It is an execution of the project. Manage project knowledge. So whatever knowledge you will gain, the lesson learned you will gain, all you need to make sure that you have the proper repository for it. You need to archive these project objectives. You need to make sure that first you don't reinvent the wheel, and then if you have identified something, the future teams will not reinvent the wheel. Then you will be managing the quality, then you will be acquiring the resources. Sorry. There is a difference between acquiring the resources and developing a team. Acquiring the resources about team members, facilities, equipment, materials, supplies, negotiation, getting them on board, introducing them. Then you have to develop the team. You are talking about competencies. You are talking about moving them into the Tuckman ladder team formation. You are talking about conflicts. All these will be part of it. Then you will be managing the team, and then you have to conduct the procurement and manage the stakeholder engagement. Manage the stakeholder engagement. Very important area, because again, we are here because of the stakeholder. If you don't take a proactive approach in terms of monitoring and engaging and managing the stakeholders, you will be finding a lot of surprises at the end. So you need to keep them involved. You need to keep the feedback mechanism in place, so that whatever you do, whatever you deliver, in short span of time, you get the feedback. So when you are going for actual big deliverable, they don't say no. We will be talking about acquiring the resources and developing a team. There is a difference between acquiring a resource and developing it. When we are talking about acquiring a resource, we are talking about obtaining the team members, facilities, equipments, materials, supplies, and other resources. It is about negotiation. It is about getting them on board. Then when you are talking of developing and managing the team, it is about improving their competencies, improving their interactions, improving their overall environment so they can enhance the project performance. Conflict management, it is about moving them into the performance mode rather than resistance mode. Then you will be conducting a procurement, whatever. And last but not the least, about manage stakeholder. You have to make sure that stakeholder remains happy. You keep on meeting their objectives, their expectations. Keep on managing their expectations. That is very important part of this. The next is key inputs and deliverables. The items produced by project executions are the risk and issue management, the deliverables, the change requests, the negotiation and influence to ensure appropriate staff, motivation building, conflict resolution, procurement and contracts, and organizational process assets would be updated. But in a nutshell, one thing that you would be delivering here is the deliverable, something that you would be handing over to the client. It may be product, service, or a combination. It will be a unique thing. All other deliverables like work performance data, because you need to monitor the progress so that you can see if you are behind the schedule, you can do some corrective and preventive action. Obviously, because change is inevitable, you are doing something, resources are not on the ground, delivery is not happening on as per the requirement, scope is changing, so the change request will happen. You would be needing training of your resources. They might be, your resources might need an upgradation of their skills. Procurement contracts will be happening. You will be managing a lot of procurements as part of an execution. And this is where we close our